a wicked man that cannot enter the kingdom of Zion.
Shalom everyone, welcome to another episode of the Search Engine International, and I'm your host, brother and elder Gocc of the Gocc. Alright, today we're going to talk to the people again this evening. Should be joining me this evening should be elder lawyer, who will be coming on in a couple of minutes. So spread the word, let everyone know that we're on tonight. Numbers to call is 646-200-4309, that is 646-200-4309. Alright, and joining us here is Elder Lawyer. Elder Lawyer, how you doing?
Shalom. I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm blessed. All praises be to the Most High. In the name of Yeshua.
All right,
talk to me. What's going on? What's the latest?
Hey, as always, there's a slew of things to talk about. Of course, we're in the end days, so many things are taking place daily on a prophetic level. But we also want to get into some of the calls and see what the people have to say about what's going on in their area. And we'll just kind of flow with the spirit.
Okay. Yeah, man. I've been getting in a lot of text over the last week with different things going on, regarding what you call it, from the sodomite perspectives and all. I know we touched on it a couple of weeks back. Dr. Randy Shorts was with us last week, and he had a lot to say about what was going on as well. You with me? And we just seen a lot of things happen and get manifest right across the board. Our brother just sent me a text before telling me that where he is in the south, the shipping docks have been closed down. You with me? Not much going out. You understand me? The containers are empty on the docks. You understand me? So I mean, there's so much things happening round about. You with me? And like you said, it would be good to actually hear from the different people in the different areas to find out what's actually going on with them, and get some information from them real time on the ground. All right, the numbers to call in here tonight is 646-200-4309. That is 646-200-4309. Push 1 if you have a question or a comment, and I'll take your call momentarily, okay? So we see a lot of things going on, Elder Lawyer. Like I said, many articles coming in. I saw one earlier that had me looking on it. An article of an executive order signed by the President of America, which basically allows them to have the people work for free, like basically slave labor. You with me? And I'm like, wow. I mean, I'll share it with you as the show goes on tonight, and we can talk about it. You with me? But I mean, there's so much things going on, really. But like you said, let's see where the Spirit leads us tonight. And let's open up the call line, and see what the people have to say. We probably won't stay as long tonight as we have, like we normally do. We might do about an hour and a half tonight. All right, Elder Lawyer, I know where you are calling from right now. It's a bit late, so I'll remember that, and we'll just do an hour tonight with the people, talk to them, hear what's going on. All right, so the call queue lighting up right now. So let me take some calls and see what's going on in the different areas. All right, this first caller here is from the 510 area code. Let me see here. Shalom.
Shalom.
Blessings, brother. How you doing?
Go ahead. Good. How you brothers going to sleep this night?
Bless.
Shalom,
I was just listening into the show.
Oh, okay.
I guess they put me in the car. Yeah. But
what
Shalom, these brothers. It's good. It's good. Huh?
What area are you calling in from?
I'm in California, Oakland, California.
Okay. And is there anything going on over there in your area that you see? Want to share with us?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is there anything that you see going on over there in your area that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, I think I was listening to the news in the academy a few weeks back, and they were talking about the bicycles, giving the bicycle riders license tickets for riding too fast and this and that and the other. And I just wanted to say that really wasn't a conspiracy. That the bicycle riders, I'm in San Francisco all the time because I got a limo service. They're the terrorists. Like they need something done. They need something done about the bicycles because they get hit every other day, and they just take over the streets. They're all on the sidewalk. They had this thing where they ride at the end of the month. It's called critical mass, and they get a police escort and all that, to protest all the traffic and so forth. And they just think they're above reproach. And I think it was one other thing. Yeah, you were talking about documentaries. It was one that I saw. This was on Silent Watch. There was one I saw. It's called Boys Town. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. It's been a couple of years. They probably took it down, but it was a serious thing where these kids in the orphanage were being shipped back and forth, in private planes, with politicians, and the main guy that came down, he ended up being, was a black guy, and I know you were saying that, it always comes to light when it's somebody black and everything, but other than the video called Boys Town, and it's pretty deep because the two, it was a sister and a brother. They actually interviewed them when they were talking about how they were being shipped back and forth and so forth. It was pretty crazy. But other than that, I'm just enjoying the academy. I had emailed you to try to get some music titles, like for artists and titles for the music, and I didn't get a response. But I am in the church in California though. And other than that, I don't have much to say.
Okay. Thank you for the support. You with me, and in the academy, and I'm sure, Elder Lawyer, you are.
Yes, sir.
You deal directly with California, don't you?
No, sir. That would be Elder Yurok Miel.
Okay, all right. Yes. So I guess Elder Yurok might get back with you on a list for music. You with me?
Okay.
So just hang patient for that one, all right? And
all right, I appreciate.
All right, brother, no problem. I'm gonna put you back in the queue.
All right, shalom, elders.
All right, shalom, brother.
All right.
Well, if I can quickly go into some of the things the brother was mentioning, as far as the thing that was brought out a few weeks ago in the academy. concerning the thing with the bicycles. I know that because the brother has a limo service, he may have some direct emotions or some direct concerns based on the fact that, okay, with this service, he has to shuttle people around and be able to travel, and sometimes maybe those who commute by bicycle may cause an issue to that, to a service, and I understand that from a personal level. But the reasoning, number one, for bringing out that article was to show that the activities that people do normally are becoming illegal or criminal activity.
Mm-hmm.
Something such as simple as riding a bicycle is now becoming a crime. And it's not about just these little, personal things we deal with, or it's not about these little situations in which they're talking about safety, so on and so forth. It's really criminalizing every aspect of society. Okay, a few years ago they were talking about criminalizing people wearing their pants sagging, which is, of course, is not something we condone. We expect brothers to honor and respect themselves and pull their pants up and wear a belt or whatever have you, but nonetheless, it's just an example of how every single activity that has been taught, popularized, and done throughout society is now being criminalized. And if they can criminalize you for something as normal as riding a bike, something as normal as, or what the society considers normal as, wearing your pants down, whatever the case may be, then not only can they fine you, but they also can give you sentences, jail sentences, and that links into what we were speaking about earlier when it comes to these new laws that they're trying to put on the books in which people can work for free. Because this whole society is being moved into a free labor society, a slave society. So no longer is it going to be you get a fine or you go to jail for a small amount of time. It's going to be these slave debt centers that people who break these laws will be forced to now work in, to work off their fine or work off their debt.
Exactly.
You see? So we have to be very careful when it comes to what we condone when it comes to laws being passed. Every law they pass is to further intrude upon society. And soon it's going to be the things that we do normally. Like he has a limo service. I wouldn't be surprised if soon they'll put a blockade or some type of fine or some type of law against how long your limo could be, for commuting throughout a city or wherever the case may be. So we have to be very careful of what we accept. Secondly, he was speaking about a documentary called, I believe it's called either Conspiracy of Silence or one of those documentaries. I know it was based around Boys Town, Nebraska, in which they had a ring, a child sex ring, back I believe the late 1980s, in which they were using children. High-level officials in the government were using children as basically sex slaves for their parties or whatever, what have you. And this is something that goes on normally within our society with your politicians, with your high-ranking officials, with the military, with the police force, with entertainers, so on and so forth. So that was just putting light on something that was actually brought to the forefront concerning what takes place behind closed doors with your government officials. Okay? And it's not a secluded incident. It's a part of their ritual in order to maintain and sustain power in their structure, in their empire. Okay, this is what they do. It's all part of their satanic, ritualistic activity. So I just want to put that out there also. If you haven't checked that out, please check out that documentary. I forget the actual name. It's based on an orphanage in Boys Town, Nebraska.
I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks back. The last show that there was some people over here in the UK as well that were doing a similar thing, going into the the orphanage and the homes that support that so-called is to protect the children. You with me? And doing the same thing is like one of the worst things can happen to a child is them being taken away in some so-called foster care or some social program with the government, because all that goes on there is just it's foolishness. And going back to what you're saying about things being illegal or they're making things illegal, I'm saying this now that we are gonna see a time where it's gonna be illegal to be straight. You understand me? With the way these people going on. You understand me? This is what's coming down the pipeline. You understand me? I mean, and I have to mention it because that's where it's going. It's going there where you not being tolerant, as they would put it, of nastiness and immorality. That's gonna be like real serious. That's gonna be a serious crime soon. Where if somebody thinks that you are intolerant to their lifestyle, then you can be arrested for it. I mean, to some degree, it's here now, but I mean, it's gonna really get ramped up soon. Where if you turn your face up at some sodomites in the street, there's gonna be a law soon now where you're gonna get locked up based on that. They're gonna call you an extremist or a terrorist or because you're not tolerant or you're not willing to accept that level of degradation within society. So I see it coming, and people might laugh when I say, "Yo, it's gonna be illegal to be straight," and I'm saying that's what they're gonna do. You with me? If them can start putting laws that you need a license to ride a bicycle, or you need you still have you need a license for you to breathe air. You with me? And if you're not paid the air tax yet, then you can go jail. You with me? It sounds crazy, but it's not far fetched. You understand? But anyway.
Hey, let me read this quickly before we go into some calls, just so people can understand exactly where we're coming from. And I'm glad you mentioned what you just mentioned concerning, how even standing for righteousness and standing against immorality will soon become criminal activity. Okay, this is not something new. This has happened many times in our history as Israelites. Okay, if you want to go back to the time of the Maccabees, in which it became illegal in order to stand for righteousness, to follow the laws of God, to circumcise your children, to follow the Sabbath. These things became illegal, and not only were they illegal, they became punishable by death. I want to read this quickly in the book of Isaiah 59 and 13. This is going to, I guess, kind of set the tone of some of the things we're going to be speaking about tonight, especially for some of the newer brothers and sisters who may have been experiencing issues with family, issues with close friends, relatives, so on and so forth. After coming into the knowledge of this truth, and usually once we come into this truth, we want to share it with everyone, and we want everyone to accept it in the same way, time, and space as we accepted it. But I would say the usual response that people get is a response of rejection, a response of disdain, a response to even to some degree a response of hatred. And it's no coincidence. I'm going to read this quickly here in the book of Isaiah 59 and 13, where it states, and transgressing and lying against the Most High Ahia, and departing away from our God, speaking oppression and revolt, convincing and uttering from the heart words of falsehood. Then judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. So when Isaiah brought forth this prophecy, he was dealing with what was taking place with the nation of Israel at that time. The priests and those who were set up to execute righteous judgment had become corrupted. Injustice and equity fell in the streets, meaning it no longer stood as the barometer of what the society or the Israelite society was supposed to be. We have become, in many ways, worse than the nations whom the Most High set under us. As it tells us, we have taught the wicked ones our ways. It says here, verse 14, and justice is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. So the same way this took place in ancient Israel amongst our people in their rebellious state, the same thing is taking place today in our society as a whole. Judgment standeth afar off. Truth is fallen in the street. It's not respected. It's treaded upon. It's ridiculed. And equity cannot enter, meaning there's no equality. There's no true equity in this society. Verse 15 states, yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. So we're in a time in which truth has fallen, even though many of our people are waking up. There's even more of our people who are still in darkness, still in unbelief, still in iniquity. Okay? So it tells us that truth faileth, and we can see this on a daily basis, that truth has failed in our society. Anytime you can still teach children that Christopher Columbus discovered America, understand that truth faileth, that truth has failed. Okay? Anytime that they can try to change the textbooks to tell you that the slaves came over to America by way of migration, understand that truth faileth. Anytime they can tell you that homosexuality, that someone can be born a homosexual or a lesbian, understand that truth faileth. Anytime they can tell you that you're so-called African-American, a Jamaican, a West Indian, a Puerto Rican, a Brazilian, an Australian, so on and so forth, understand that truth faileth. Okay? And there's many more examples we can show on that fact. But to move on, it states, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey, meaning those who stand up for truth, as it tells us in the book of Psalms, the 96th chapter, who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity or against the evildoers? Anyone who decides to take on that task becomes a prey, a target in this society. Okay? And it's on every level, from the highest of the highest governmental level to the spiritual level, as it tells us we wrestle not with flesh and blood. Okay? But against spiritual wickedness in high places. Down to the lowest level, to our loved ones and our family, our friends, our associates, so on and so forth. We become a target. Why? Because the whole world has been given over to darkness. And hopefully we can touch on this more as we go ahead. But just to finish off this verse, it says, and the Most High Ahijah saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. So when the Most High looked down upon the society of ancient Israel and saw that there was no judgment, it displeased the Most High. So what do you think the Most High feels about this modern day society who have actually perfected wickedness, have perfected evil, have perfected iniquity? What do you think the Most High feels when he looks down upon the society? Okay? So brothers and sisters, we're in a time in which we must stand, we must choose a side. And in choosing a side, we must be prepared to understand that the ones we love, the ones that we cherish, will eventually become like enemies. Okay? So I don't know if anything you have to add to that, Brother Gocc, but I guess we can go back to a few more calls and see if any of the brothers and sisters out there have been experiencing some of the things that we're touching on.
Okay, definitely. All right, let's keep it moving in the call queue right now. Let's go to the 734 area code. I hope I'm coming in clearly. Everybody can hear me. Hello, I'm calling you live.
Shalom, man.
Hello.
I don't know if you guys is familiar with the movie Frozen, made by Disney. Hello?
Yes, brother. We hear you.
The movie Frozen, made by Disney. Were you guys
yes,
familiar
I've heard
with
of it, but I've never watched it. I'm assuming it's a cartoon, correct?
Yes, yes. I wanted to touch on how the sodomites were, the main antagonist of the movie, which is Princess Anna. She, what I've seen in the news was that they were actually trying to give her a female love interest, and they're actually rallying behind it. The LGBTA organization and all the sodomites were actually rallying behind it, trying to get them to actually do this. And this movie is actually targeting from children up to 3 years up and 3 years and up. And it's really a real influential movie, and I just think it's real wicked.
Well, I'm not surprised anymore with anything that they're putting out there with this LBGT agenda as far as it being pushed towards the children. It's disheartening every time we hear a new story about how this is being imposed on the children, but nonetheless, we're not surprised.
Right, and that was what... Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse. What we have to do as a people is, number one, we have to find creative ways to pretty much create our own entertainment for which our children can learn from and be entertained, but at the same time be educated. That's first and foremost, because as long as there's no alternative, the children are always going to turn to what they know or what's out there. Secondly, we have to do what the scriptures say and come out of her, my people. We be not partakers of her sin, nor partakers of her flesh. Society is falling before our eyes, so we have a decision to make whether we want to be a part of it in its ideologies, its philosophies, and its ways, or again, we can do like the scriptures say and depart. And in the process, let's create the alternative in which our children don't have to be continual victims of this onslaught of the LBGT.
Right, they put some real strong behind it, and I was reading some of the comments under the article, and they was talking like, "Oh, what is wrong with people? Like this is not going to harm the children, and this and that, and that. And this people just need to grow up, and they need to be aware of their children that are 3 years old that can can relate to the situation." And I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. I kind of could figure that they was gonna do that, because in the first movie they actually had this and she's like a sorceress, a witch, a snow queen with magical power, and once she transformed into like this snow princess, her hair got short like a stud.
Yeah, I want to know what 3-year-old can relate to a homosexual lesbian love interest.
That's what I was saying.
You understand? I mean, scientifically, biologically, and scientifically, if you just want to deal with science alone,
right,
tells you that you biologically are either male or female. And if you're male, then naturally you're going to be attracted to women. And really, at the age of 3 years old, you're not attracted to anything.
Right.
But just to deal with it from that level, a male is natural. His disposition is to be attracted to a female and vice versa. So I want to know what 3-year-old is not only dealing with that mindset, but nonetheless, or furthermore, what 3-year-old is even thinking about sexual content on that level.
Exactly. And another thing I wanted to mention, in my city, I'm just 20 minutes west of Detroit, and I also seen on the news that, well, a week before, they were doing National Guard drills throughout the city. It's Ypsilanti, Michigan, and lo and behold, a week later, I seen on the news that they were sending the U.S. Marshals to the city to crack down on violent offenders and the crime that's going on in the city. Now, mind you, when they started doing raids and stuff, they started kicking down people's doors for traffic tickets now, and child support tickets, and you know, just minor crimes. So I think that was kind of alarming right there, what they're doing.
Where is it taking place? Detroit?
20 minutes west of Detroit, Ypsilanti, Michigan.
And you said the National Guard is doing what? They're kicking down doors and...
No, the National Guard a week and a half ago were doing like drills because they have a National Guard headquarters in Ypsilanti, Michigan, next to the courthouse, and they were marching the streets, like doing marches and like drills or whatnot. And lo and behold, a week and a half later, they announced that the police department, because it's several different police forces in Ypsilanti, because you know the crime that goes on in the city is mostly a college town from the outside looking in, and what they want to do is protect the college students from what goes on inside the city. But what they are doing now is they have reached out to the National Guard, not the National Guard, but the U.S. Marshals to crack down on the crime that's going on in the local neighborhood. And what they're really doing is just snatching people off the streets, kicking down their doors, and harassing a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, for minor offenses like traffic tickets or, child support and things of that nature. So we already got like 6 different police forces inside the city, and they already don't have any jurisdiction or lines, and they just passed that law last year that where all those different police forces inside the city don't have a jurisdiction. They can, cross over to different areas in the city. So now you have 5 different police cars riding past each other and all, doing their thing. And it's just crazy.
Hey, well, this is culminating to what the scriptures say when Christ told us, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies,
right,
then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And I know many people just relate that to what took place in 70 AD, the destruction of Jerusalem. But we have to understand that that same game plan, that same structure that was set up, and I'm talking about the excuses, the false flags, and everything that was being used during the time of 70 AD,
right,
which led to the eventual surrounding of Jerusalem and building a wall around
with
Jerusalem.
Nero. Right.
Exactly, with Nero, burning the cities and blaming it on the Jews who followed Christ, who were called Christians. It's the same exact thing. Now they're using crime, criminal activity in the neighborhood. Now we got to send in the National Guard. We got to strengthen the police force. We got to militarize police. We got to get new vehicles and new weapons and new armor on the streets to deal with tough crime that's taking place in the community. And we all know, we've been off for a long time in the black community, that the crime is being fueled by these so-called special forces within the police, within law enforcement.
Right.
They're the ones that keep the crime going. You have situations in which you'll have gangs who will come to truces, or they'll try to make peace, and you'll have a police officer go in a certain neighborhood, go into a neighborhood, spray paint some stuff, the next thing you know, it fuels the activity between the gangs. Exactly. So they keep the crime going and then put a spotlight, put a camera on it and state, well, see, this it's like Iraq in this particular part of the U.S. It's like Afghanistan. Okay? So what are we going to do about this? If we sent troops over to Afghanistan or Iraq to deal with their issues of unrest and violence, so on and so forth, what are we going to do with our own domestic issues? What are we going to do with Chicago? What are we going to do with Detroit? What are we going to do with Philadelphia and all these different places that are plagued with crime, violence, and so forth? Well, let's do the same exact thing we did in Afghanistan. We did in Iraq. Let's do the same thing we did back in ancient Rome. Okay?
Right.
Or with the Israelites under the Roman Empire. All right? Let's build a trench around them. Let's put military forces around that trench so that people can't come out and travel freely. As the scriptures prophesy, that a man shall seek to go into another city and shall not be able. Let's make that or put that as part of our measures. Let's starve them out. We'll fuel more crime among the people. We'll put a camera on it so the person can do it. Eventually, this will give us what we need to kill these people off. So it's the same exact process from empire to empire.
And another thing that they were doing is putting up surveillance cameras inside their residential neighborhoods, also in project buildings and stuff, on the street corners, and they're reading people's license plates and all that. Now they got to where they can read your license plate and see if you got insurance on your car now. So now they can have an excuse to pull you over for no proof of insurance.
Again, it's all going back to criminalization of society. Criminalizing everything, finding a reason to impose themselves upon people who are just trying to feed their families, trying to do good by themselves, or do good for themselves, and finding a reason to be able to now put measures in place in which now, okay, people are not paying their insurance, okay, what's the next one? To ensure that people are insured, so on and so forth. Next thing you know, there's a new technology, market. You can't even use your car until, or you won't be able to use your car unless you have a chip or something that identifies a link to your car. And with that, your insurance and everything will be attached. It's all leading and culminating to one eventual system of the mark of the beast. Okay? So, if we're becoming closer and closer to the end than we ever thought we would be. So, we could just get straight up and try our best to be on the Most High side. Things hit the fan. So go ahead.
Yeah, it don't make it any better that Detroit and Ypsilanti and all the other cities are so close to Dearborn, Michigan, which has the highest concentration of Arabs that come through there. You know, that's the Arab capital of the United States, and it seems like it's something boiling down in there. And lo and behold, they have over 3,000 Syrian immigrants, which were mostly all men, refugees in Detroit, Michigan. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay, well, sounds like Michigan is a testing ground for many different things. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're hearing about, and you're probably seeing some of these things firsthand with the Flint, Michigan water situation.
Yeah, my father's from Flint, Michigan, and you know they actually some of the forerunners of the people who are actually suing the city of Flint, Michigan, a male and a female, were murdered. You know, people always used to say too, like in the '90s, like it's something in the water. You know, just that people ain't right in Flint. You know, just to make them act like how they act in that city, because pound for pound, Flint, Michigan has the highest crime murder rate in the country out of the city, out of any city, you know, per capita. You know, they mostly do the rated for like per 100,000. Well, Flint has 100,000 people. You know, roughly 100,000 to 90,000 people, and I think they say it's like 85 people per 100,000 die from, you know, gun violence and, you know, just murder, period. And they say that's the highest murder rate in the country per 100,000. And, you know, and they said that the lead content of the water was actually making the community act in this way. So I wouldn't, and plus it's a lot of high chemtrail activity out there. That's all you really see in the sky. And it's just like a dark cloud over the city. For some reason, when you go to Flint, it's never sunny. It's never sunny. So I don't know what's going on in the air, and especially with that water. You know, my grandfather almost died in that water drinking. So.
Yeah, we're definitely sorry to hear that, but to speak to that, there's just certain areas in the United States, and mainly in the black community. I don't know if you saw the video that was done by the guy, I think his name is Mike Adams. He calls himself the Health Ranger, and he's usually on the Alex Jones, and he did a segment, did a video stating, or asking the question, why does it seem that mass poisoning always affects the black community? Or why do they always target the black community? And he wanted a few things just on the scientific level to show that how certain chemicals affect us based on our melanin. Right, exactly. So for a long time, through eugenics, they've been finding slick and cunning ways to specifically attack our community. I'm not sure if you heard the radio show with the Janet Phelan, I believe.
Janet Phelan, yeah. She was talking about the water crisis.
Exactly, how they have the second line of water running under certain cities, predominantly, and this came out of her own mouth, predominantly in black and Latino communities. Yep. Which goes directly in line in what was being dropped in that video and what we've been talking about for such a long time. How it's not a coincidence that these things are encroaching upon our community. They understand exactly who we are as a people. And from the inception of the program, they've stated, I believe it was Margaret Sanger stated that the black population cannot know, can't know that the eugenics program is specifically being used to target the black community, and went as far as saying that we would use the black pastors to convince the black people, the black community, and the black neighborhood that the eugenics movement and the things they're putting in our communities, like birth control and things of that nature, are not tools of black genocide. So this has been going on for a long time. It's just a continuation of this same exact program, and you wouldn't believe the passage they've been able to consistent. I'm talking about everything from your IQ test, everything from your standardized test, everything from these different organizations, talking about biogenetics and so on and so forth. All of these are extensions of eugenics. And they're so covert that if you were to say that something like, well, the test they have our children taking in schools is a form of eugenics to limit where they can live, based on the fact that based on your grade, your ethnic, that determines where you can go to college. That will determine where you can work. Where you can work will determine where you'll live the rest of your life. People look at you like you're crazy. It doesn't make sense. It sounds like you're reaching, and that's the point. That's the purpose of them creating these covert means, for creating these different areas which are really forms of eugenics, so that when you talk about it, you sound crazy. You sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
But the information is coming out. It's becoming clear exactly what this is, and people don't really in the Bible or see that things are being geared towards a specific nation of people. So it's up to our people to be able to sit back, realize this is what it is, and eventually link into the God who can deliver them out of this attack. Because Christ says, if the elected, no flesh will be killed. So if they were allowed to continue this program, every single Israelite would be cut off from the face of the earth. So it's only through the mercy of the Most High that we have a chance, a shot in the dark, to escape this and to see the other side as the next leader, next piece of this earth. So, brothers and sisters, for your call. Very information is put out. Hopefully, brothers and sisters will be able to wake up. If you're seeing some of the same things in your area, please call in, let us know. And this is what it's all about. Up to date, on the spot news. Again, brother, thank you for your call.
All right. Sorry about that, my brother. I just have to put your call on mute. The noise was getting very bad in the background, but once again, thank you for your call and your time, all right? Elder Lawyer, can you hear me clearly?
Nice and clearly.
Okay, good. That call just then was very distorted, all right? My apologies to the listeners tuning in. All right, reminding the people that we are, the numbers to call here, 646-200-4309. That is 646-200-4309. You can also listen to us online on Blog Talk Radio / Search Engine International, all right? And I'm going to take a quick break, Elder Lawyer, before we take the other callers. That brother touched on a couple of things. I want to speak to some of it on the other side of this, okay? So stay tuned, everybody. Let everyone know that the search engine is on. And we'll be right back after this quick break.
If you have serious health challenges or just want a full-body tune-up, then pay a visit to barakapah-naturally.org. Barakapah means bless and heal in Hebrew, and this is exactly what our holistic, natural approach to health will do for you. Your body has been designed by the Most High to correct and heal even the most severe illnesses using full-body cleansing and detox protocols in combination with whole foods, herbs, natural supplements, pure drinking water and a stress-reducing lifestyle, positive thoughts and prayer. We use tried and tested natural methods to identify and address any health challenge using a simple, easy-to-follow, personalized health program designed specifically for you. We can offer an initial 1-hour health session followed by a full 28-day follow-up plan, which includes support by email, Skype or telephone. Further ongoing support is available as required to assist you on your health journey. We can provide you with a health and lifestyle education that will position you on the road to excellent health. So if you've tried all the hype, medicines, doctors and drugs, and failed to get the results you need, it's time to do something different. Why not use a proven natural healing program that has provided great results for many that have used it? We're not here to sell you supplements, we're here to show you how to get your health back and keep it. Go to barackapahnaturally.org, spelled www.barackapah-naturally, naturally.org.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Search Engine International. Elder Lloyd, you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was, like I said, listening to what the brother was saying and all that poisoning going on, and I saw a clip a few weeks ago about a thing I've never heard of it before, called manganese. That apparently they put that in the beer, in the malt, in the malt liquor in the States, and it causes a violent reaction. I just put up an article there, sent over to you about it. It accentuates adverse mental health effects associated with alcohol use disorders. You with me? And apparently it is laced in the in malt liquor, in beer that we see sold in the liquor stores in the communities where Israelites resided. You with me? And I'm trying to pull up some more information here on it though. It's called manganese, and it's like, I mean, there's wars. People might think it, you know, but for the new people who coming into the truth, or might run into a broadcast like this, might think that we're here on a conspiracy theory. But I mean, you need to look it up and do the research for yourself and realize that there's been a war against God's people for a very long time. We talk about the LGBT movement, the Let's Break God's Law movement, right? Because that's what they do, yeah. And that's just one aspect of the battle against we are being poisoned with the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe in. You understand? With the social programs they have in the education system for us, it's an all-out assault. You with me? And I think right now it's to a level right now where they don't care. They're coming out with it. The information is out there. You can actually find it, but people still not seeing. You know, don't seem to be reacting to it. You understand me? And I mean, you know, only the Most High knows why. I mean, the social. I mean, you know, we have been so dumbed down. You with the vaccines and all that. You with the fluoride in the water, with the lead in the water, lead poisoning. I mean, it you know, when the Bible says that, you know, we shall be an astonishment. You with me? You know, it's an astonishment that we're still here. You understand? With all what they're trying to do against us. You understand? So it's called manganese, people. Go look it up. MANGANESE, manganese. All right. Let me open up the callers again. The call queue again. Numbers to call is 646-200-4309. That is 646-200-4309. All right. Let me go over to the 951 area code.
You wrote that word. I looked at a bunch of articles that have come out. It started with Rec 74, and it's turned into a bunch of manuals and a bunch of executive orders that put in place martial law. And the military likes to perform war games, so that's why we're seeing military on the streets practicing. They are actually practicing. The tanks that we see on the streets and the National Guard patrolling neighborhoods and the practices that they're doing with their this is all in preparation for martial law, so that when they do actually lock down the country, we've got everything else secure. People that don't run in these circles, they hope that information is news to them. They look to say that we're all conspiracy.
Is this a caller or?
I don't know. Not here. I think someone's playing something in the background. Forgive us for that, everyone. Let me move to the next caller in the 804 area code.
Shalom, Elder. This is Brother AC from GOCC I was calling. I just had a question, but also I had some comments that I want to make in regards to a different topic, something that I've noticed, and I just wanted to reach out to the elders just to make them aware that if they could please give me a call in regards to the issues with the streaming video and the recordings. I may have a possible solution for that, as well as the possible solution to the emailing issues as well. So please give me a call, and I can help explain in detail. The question that I actually have is in regards to Ezekiel 47, verse 22 and 23. I would like the elders if they could give me the understanding on that, please. That's all I have. Thank you.
Ezekiel 47 what, sorry?
Ezekiel 47, verse 22 to 23.
Okay. Hallelujah. I'll read and you break down, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 47, verse 22. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the servant, and to the stranger, that sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in a country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. Verse 23. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall he give him his inheritance, saith the Most High Power.
Okay. Well, when we go into prophecy concerning the kingdom and what will be established in the kingdom, number one, we know that Israel will become the rulers of the earth, and that the nations will be servants unto the nation of Israel. We can quickly go to the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and the first verse. To first deal with that aspect.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy upon Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Right, so that's what we just read in the book of Ezekiel, that the strangers will be joined unto the nation of Israel, and shall do what?
And shall cleave to the house of Israel.
And they shall cleave to the house of Israel. So in the kingdom, this is how the kingdom will be established, or this is what will be established leading into the kingdom. The nations being joined unto us, and being cleaved unto the house of Jacob. Read on, verse 2.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their own place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Right, so the nation of Israel will rule over their oppressors. Okay? So let's go back to Ezekiel chapter 47 and 22 again.
Okay, the book of Ezekiel chapter 47 verse 22. And it shall come to pass that they shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you.
So we just read in Salakia, we just read in the book of Isaiah 14th chapter that the strangers shall be joined unto the house of Israel, and that they shall cleave unto Jacob, and that we will rule over those that oppressed us. We shall be their rulers. Okay, so this is why you have nations among us in this particular chapter, going into the division of allotment of the kingdom. Go ahead.
Which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. Verse 23. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Most High Power.
Right, so why would he be dwelling among us again? Because again, they're going to be joined unto us to be servants and handmaids.
Stand up one more time. Now.
Excuse me.
All right, so brother, you got that, brother?
I got it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bless you, brother.
All right, brother, go ahead after me and push 1, and I will take you out the queue. All right, the water. Let me go to the next caller in the 504 area code.
Hello, can you hear me?
Shalom, caller, you live. Go ahead.
Okay, how you doing, Elder? I have 2 quick questions. I missed the first half of your show, so I wanted to know what do you think about what's going to happen next as far as the kids are concerned with the transgender bathroom? Do you think they're aiming to do something else after this with the bathroom situation? Is there something else you think they're going to aim to do? Like people are free to marry animals and stuff like that next, or I don't know, whatever it's targeting the children.
Well, sister, to answer your question, that is a very good question. And to answer your question, I don't think people are even ready to receive what they're really preparing people for with the LGBT movement. It's way deeper than just having 2 men. As vile as it is and as abominable as it is, it's deeper than just convincing society that it's okay for man to deal with man and women to deal with women. And yes, eventually things are going to move on. As you can see now, they're putting in a say for pedophiles. Next pedophiles are going to have the same rights as homosexuals and lesbians. And eventually, yes, it's going to move on to bestiality and things of that nature. But really, the end game of this, when we go into Scripture, if we want to go all the way back to the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter, we've seen a situation in which the sons of God came down with the daughters of men and bare giants, Nephilim. For a long time, these beings, these Nephilim, have had to hide themselves from society due to their strange appearance. And eventually, these same beings will eventually manifest themselves openly amongst society. And this is what your whole thing, I know they manifest this in many different movies and things of that nature, but one of the biggest ones is X-Men, where you have this whole group of what they call mutants, which are really a representation of the Nephilim beings who are outcasted by society and can't exercise their free will to be who they are, so on and so forth. This is a story not only of homosexuals, as has been brought out by the creators of X-Men, it's also an allegory for the Nephilim beings who have been hiding all this time and know that they will not be accepted for society. So what they're doing is they're breaking down the moral fabric of the people, understanding that eventually, as they trickle down the line, once these beings start to manifest themselves and these different creatures start to come out, soon they're going to have those same rights to now operate and deal with mankind. Okay? They're preparing it when you go into it from a scientific technology standpoint, with them mixing people with technology and creating all these different forms of hybrids. All of these things are going to be protected under the rights that are established under the LGBT movement. So like I said earlier, people are not ready to even receive and understand what the final end game of this whole agenda is. It ain't just about man and man, woman and woman. It's about introducing a whole different life form into society and allowing them to be accepted under the same laws and standards as LGBT.
Second question is, what do you think about IQ testing in the school? Like, they like to give our kids the IQ test just to see if, as measurable data to work with the students, to see how can they work with the students best. And I'm kind of opposed to it because I feel like IQ tests can be kind of biased. So what do you think about that?
Well, sister, you're right in your assumption. The IQ tests are biased, and as I stated earlier, I'm not sure if people the fact that I stated that IQ tests, SAT tests, and all forms of standardized testing were created by eugenicists. In fact, I have the information before me. I'm not sure if we have time to read it, but when you get the chance, you can go simply to Wikipedia and look up intelligence quotient, or IQ, and it'll give you the history of the IQ test, and it'll tell you here that the first IQ test, I want to read this here quickly, it says, the English statistician Francis Galton made the first attempt at creating a standardized test for rating a person's intelligence. Now, if you know anything about Francis Galton was the cousin of Charles Darwin. And it was Francis Galton who created the term eugenics and was one of the fathers of the ideology of eugenics. And when you go into this document, it goes into the cultural bias of the IQ test, how it was created to be biased towards a certain demographic who just so happened to be European. And the same exact thing with the SAT test. They're culturally biased. And again, the purpose is that, number one, within the school system, depending on how your children do on these tests, they'll tell you that, well, because your child didn't do so great, we now have to look at putting them in a special needs class. You see? And again, these special needs classes, again, these are all facets of the eugenic system, because now your child is in special needs. Of course, they're labeled a certain type of way. Eventually, now they start talking about, okay, your child is acting a certain type of way. They need, excuse me? Medicine, exactly. They need medication. And of course, the child is going to be depressed. They're going to be acting a certain type of way because every time they go to school, people are making fun of them because they're in a certain class which has that label, that stigma upon them. So the child is going to be depressed. Now they're saying the child needs medication. You see, now the child is damaged for life. But on another level, they knew that if they made it culturally biased towards Europeans, when African Americans and others take this test, and now they're looking to advance their education into college, whatever college they can be accepted to, or whatever schooling they could be accepted into, at one point was determined by these SAT scores. And we all know that at one point, the school you went to eventually determined the career you could have. The career you could have determined what community you can live in. The community you live in determines now what things you are a victim of. And as Brother Gocc brought out earlier with this thing about the manganese and the malt liquor that can be found specifically in the black community is one example of how they're able to target us, understanding that based on the scores we did on the test, we'll be living in a certain community which can be targeted and attacked with many different weapons, such as the beer, such as the HIV imposition, telling people they have HIV or cancer, or the birth control clinics. All of these things are targeted in specific communities where they know that people normally have these low score tests, which are the low-income communities. And when you get the articles on Wikipedia on SAT, it actually tells you that low-income people and African Americans usually score low on these tests based on the bias. Okay? So look up that information, and it will confirm everything you've been assuming concerning the SAT and the IQ test that they have your children taking to school.
So my solution is homeschooling. But when I talk to people, a lot of people don't even know that they have a choice to homeschool. There's a lot of people who say, oh, I thought we had to put our kids in public school. No, you don't. You have three choices: public school, private school, and homeschool. So, A, some people don't even know that you can homeschool your kids, and B, some of us, honestly, we don't want to be bothered with our kids to homeschool. So we'd rather send them to school and be taught by the system instead of teaching them ourselves. So, thank you, brother.
Yes, and again, that's true, but they understand that this, and you understand that this information is not openly promoted in our communities. I mean, how many of our people, you tell our people about homeschool, they say, what? Homeschool, what's that? You see? So it's the lack of information that's circulated in our communities. And again, it goes back, you know, and I hate to sound redundant with this, all of this goes back to this eugenics movement. Okay?
The what?
The eugenics movement, eugenics.
Oh.
Okay? When you get the chance, look it up and really go into the different extensions on how this affects our community, us, as well as our children.
All right. Shalom, Elder. Thank you.
All right. Shalom.
All right, sister. Let me put you back in the queue, and just push one for me, and that will take you out. All right. Although you can hear me, right?
Loud and clear.
All right. Let's move down to the next caller here from the next caller from the 586 area code. Shalom, caller. You live?
Shalom.
Yes, brother. Go ahead.
Hello? Hey,
Yeah,
how you doing?
I'm blessed.
Hey, I just wanted to share. Good, brother. Good. I just want to give all praise to the Most High. Thank y'all, brothers, for y'all work y'all putting in for the body. And I wanted to share a scripture with y'all. It's just a short scripture, a little prayer. It's from Numbers chapter 6, starting at 24. And I meditate on this prayer, and it humbles me, man, because dealing with a lot of stuff trying to endure. And shout out to Elder Lawyer. How you doing, brother? Shalom.
Shalom, brother. I'm doing well. Thank you.
But yeah, I wanted to share this prayer with y'all, brothers. Starting at Numbers chapter 6, verse 24. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his continuance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name, Ahaya Sha'ahaya, upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And I just want to say bless you, brothers, for all y'all done, man. Doing some good work in the body.
Well, thank you, brother, and may all praise be to the Most High in Christ. As we always say, we're just vessels by which this work can be put forth to the people, and we'll continue to do it until the Most High, until the Most High says otherwise. All right? So, brother, thank you for your call. Let me ask, brother, where are you located?
Detroit area.
Okay. All right. So we have your number. We'll try to make sure someone gets in contact with you. And are you currently in contact with anyone in Detroit, or you're just by yourself right now?
I'm in contact with Brother Dewada out of GLCC Detroit with Elder Dell, but I haven't really met with nobody yet in that. But all praises be it. Everybody get to meet in due season.
Okay.
Elder Lawyer, I was wondering if you can read a scripture and give me a little insight on it. It's in the book of Psalms, chapter 145.
Okay. It says Psalms chapter 145, the verse.
Kind of an overall insight on the whole Psalms of 145, if you don't mind. I don't want to take up too much time or nothing.
Okay. Well, that'll be difficult because Psalms 145 is a pretty long chapter. So even though that may not be your intention, that's exactly what it will be. So I tell you what, we can do is send an email to gatherners1. That's the word one, ONE at AOL.com, and we'll get back with you with an overall breakdown of Psalms 145. Is that good?
Praise to the Most High. The water.
All right.
Well, you brothers have a blessed day, and all praises be to the Most High.
Yes, sir. All right. You have a blessed one.
All right, but put you back in the queue. Elder Lawyer, I'm gonna take one more call, and then we can call it a night. I think Elder Ramar was supposed to come in earlier, but I think he's probably having connection issues coming in. I'm gonna bring some news in first. I just spoke with him before, but he's having some problems getting in right now. So we're gonna call it a night, and hopefully we can speak with Elder Ramar next broadcast. How you're willing. All right. Let me go here and take the final call for the evening to the, I don't know if I can go here first, to the 347 area code. My apologies for the calls that we missed, all right? Shalom, caller, you live?
Hello?
Shalom, you live, go ahead.
Shalom. Shalom, Elder Lawyer. I'm just calling to ask one question. My cat had passed away like a few months ago, and I wanted to know where do animals go when they pass away?
There's a few things we can go into on that. Number one, Book of Ecclesiastes here. In fact, to get straight to the point when it comes to your question about your cat, would you happen to have a annotated apocrypha?
Yes.
When you get the chance, read 2nd Esdras, the 7th, I believe it's the 7th chapter that contains the extra 70 verses. And when you go into the extra 70 verses, it goes into animals and how they don't actually go through judgment because the Most High made them docile creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And that because we as men, the Most High put a mind within us that grows and develops, and we have knowledge and intelligence on a higher level, which allows us to rule over animals and to rule over the earth. This is why the Most High placed the judgment upon us, because we are the image of the Most High. We have that intelligence. But the beasts were created docile to follow under man's ways and to be guided by man. So based on that, they don't have a judgment. So you can read that in the extra 70 verses of 2nd Esdras in your annotated apocrypha when you get the chance.
Okay, thank you so much. And I wanted to ask one more question, and I'm done. As far as the time limit, we all know that the Most High is the only one that know, like, when we exactly at the end. But do you know, like, how much time limit do we have about? Like, how many more years before they institute the mark of the beast?
Well, I can't give you an exact year as far as when they are going to institute the mark of the beast. What I can say is that the only thing we can deal with is what Christ tells us when he says that no man knows the day or the hour.
Mm-hmm.
But that when we see the signs of his coming, know that he's at the door.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the fact that we're seeing these signs daily, the only thing we can go by in order to determine when certain things are coming or coming in is through the signs that the Most High gives. And when you get the chance, go online and see some of the developments in technology and how things are being led into this eventual system in which we will be faced with the choice of either taking the mark of the beast or choosing the Most High. I mean, the information and the technology is coming so rapidly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years they have this system fully in place. But, you know, that's only based on, you know, speculation. I can't give you an exact time in which that will actually be implemented, or else I'll be going against, you know, the Most High and prophecy. The only thing we have is signs. So the best thing to do, when you get the chance, you can go on YouTube or look up certain articles, so on and so forth. Look at the technology that's being developed in the financial realm with them moving into a cashless society, and see how that's developing. Look at some of the new technologies they're placing with smartphones, and some of the new things they're putting in place with that. The technology in the medical realm, at the hospitals and things of that nature. Continue to stay abreast on that information. As Christ says, we must watch as well as pray. And when we do so, this is when we start to fully get in the spirit to see, okay, this thing is right around the corner. You see? But again, to give you an exact time of when they'll develop it, I can't say. Okay?
Okay, well, thank you so much, Elder Lawyer. And also, I love that the Hebrew Bible Academy, the second one, for the law. Oh, it was a blessing, and I just want to thank y'all.
Well, thank you, sister, for your support. May all thanks be to the Most High Christ. And hey, for those who are not in the academy, you're definitely missing a lot of good information, especially with the things like the law that hasn't been taught in any of the previous academies. So, all right. So thank you, sister.
Thank you. Have a blessed one. Thank you.
All right. Shalom.
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom. Back into the queue. And I'll put you on. I don't know. We're gonna call it tonight. And you know, thank you for coming in, taking time out. I know where you are right now. It's very late, so I'm going to say shalom to you and shalom to the listeners. And thanks to everyone who tuned in this evening. We're going to be back again next week. Same time, same place, all right? Any words? Sorry,
I just want to thank you again for having me. And for the brothers and sisters out there, as we always say, stay prayed up. Continue to watch for the prophecies. Continue to serve the Most High in truth. Continue to try to keep His law, statutes, commandments, and just pray that the Most High have mercy on us to allow us to make it through these last days. So.
All right, man. You have a blessed week, all right? And we speak soon, okay?
All right, you do the same, though.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Peace to everyone. Shalom.
My life be like
low-key and staying candid, reflect on all the things I try my hand at, search for the equation to persuasions I'm used to, finding comfort in the zones and clouds of bones I get loose to, a mountain is Fontaine, spinning in monsoon and grinning is high octane, explosive how I came, rolling down the hills cause life's a hassle, encircled by my folly like a moat around the castle, stay afloat, catch a second wind, thin is the air I breathe, teary-eyed nose running, wipe the snot on my sleeve, I'm calling on the Savior to be all that I need, please forgive me my behavior, have me lost in light speed. Times like these that make me say, yeah, Lord, if you see me, please come my way, like leaving brain control and I stray, yeah, I'm sacrificing the price you pay, like living like a fingertip. Sometimes I fall, I slip, yeah, walk for the time, ain't more like you, try not to put you fight with the things I like.
The fear of never falling in love, and the tears after losing the feelings of what you thought love was, like the dirt still up under the rug.
My life be like
bad characteristics covered in Christ's blood, the joy of new birth and the pain of growing up, the bliss between giving my all and giving up, the highs and lows, paths and roads I chose in the cold I froze, trying to ease my woes in this world of sin, close too thin to fit, so the God I send, words of help to win, and grumbling so deep letters could never express, so the sounds of ooh-ah beneath my breath.
Times like these that make me say, yeah, Lord, if you see me, please come
record for the fastest ever Grand Prix victory, 1998, 6 minutes and 43 seconds. It took this guy to run through 3 opponents all in the first round.